one fact right now. We estimate right now that $10 million of that referendum, if it's passed, will go directly to raises for our employees. I mean, that's an astounding amount of funding that we don't have available to us any other way. And so we want to do that. We want to continue to share more and more information as questions come in. I had a great session yesterday with a bunch of bus drivers. It's neat talking to everybody and seeing their eyes when they find out the different pots of money we have. We have money that we can buy technology and buses and repair roofs and construction with, and then we have operational money. We cannot use capital money for operations, and what we're focused on with the referendum is operational, which is where salaries come from. So we're going to continue to get that message out there. Some people don't like that we're sharing that message, but we will continue to make sure we get the accurate truth out there. Now, I will let you ask whatever questions you might have. You were here first, so you get to go first.
So a lot of this talk has been about the brochures you're handing out, pamphlets. Mm-hmm. Where and to who did you distribute these brochures?
Anybody that wants one, we gave them to the principals, so if any of their faculty want it or any parents come out and ask for it, it's available. We've got them in the lobby. We didn't mail any of them out. We haven't sent any of them out in any packages. And here's what I'll tell you. This is the brochure. It's what can one mill do? Did you know? Nowhere on there does it say vote for this, vote against this, or anything. It's factual information. And we are going to have all kinds of FAQs and information on our website. We're working on that right now, and that information will be on there. We don't tell people how to vote. We didn't do that with the half-cent sales tax in 2010. We didn't do it with the half-cent sales tax in 2020. We are about making sure the general public understands, because they're asking questions, and they need to ask questions. I want them to be informed. I think the more informed they are, the better decision they'll make.
How are these pamphlets paid for?
They were paid for by the district. I think it was $180 is what we spent on this. Again, it is informational. Nowhere on there does it say vote for this or vote against it.
Does it have to say anything like paid for by Bay District?
No, it's not a political advertisement. And that's the thing. People want to say it's a political advertisement. And believe me, I know about political advertising. I've been in 6 different campaigns. And so this is not a political advertisement. It is informational only. We do this kind of thing all the time, share information about our schools and about our district. The general public needs to understand the way our finances are and where our money comes from and what we do with it. We did the same thing with the half-cent sales tax and have done this kind of thing for years. This is nothing different.
How is it not advertising when you only list positives about it?
Well, tell me what you want me to say negative about it. It increases taxes. And, you know, one of the things I heard early on about the referendum was someone said that the word tax isn't in there. Well, they didn't read it. The very first, like, the 7th or 8th word uses the word tax. It is a tax. We know people are going to vote against it just because they don't want to pay more taxes. And I would encourage people just to look and read and understand. That's all we're asking them to do.
For these informational posters, could you kind of see why some people would think?
These aren't posters, though. They're just brochures.
Could you kind of understand why some people would think it has the appearance of infiltration?
The only people that are fussing are the ones that don't understand it. And I can't, no matter what I do, I can't make people understand something they don't want to understand. And so we have tried to talk with people. We've meeting with people explaining financial constraints that school districts have and how different it is. We've had meetings with people. I've literally had 2 professionals come to me, get it, and say, hey, I understand it now, and I'm going to support it. I mean, once people look into it and dig into it and understand the constraints that not just Bay County, but all school districts are under, and in the state of Florida, they understand the facts. And we're not lying about any of this, and we're not making it up. The facts are the facts, and that's what I keep telling everybody. Be against the tax. That's fine. Vote against the tax if you want. That's fine. I just want people to get the correct information.
And I want to clarify, these workshops, meetings, gatherings like you have with the bus drivers, were they held before, during, after?
During their workday. During their workday. They were working for us. They work for us. We do training and staff meetings all the time and give information. I meet with principals once a month and spend about 2 to 3 hours with them sharing all kinds of information. we have a responsibility to make sure our employees understand questions that they're asking, questions that they have. I've been energized by meeting with the employees. They've asked some great questions on this, and so we know that if they understand what we're dealing with, they're going to be more able to answer questions of the public. And the example I gave was that I'll be shopping somewhere or something, and somebody will come up and say, did you know such and such happened at school? And I said, no. We've got 25,000 students and 40 schools, and I can't keep up with all of it. But our employees know answers to a lot of questions and have people ask them questions also. And so we're trying to educate our employees like everyone else.
Do the informational meetings on the school campus violate any school board policy against?
No, there's been no policies violated, no law violated. Everything, even this, before we printed this and sent it out, we had our lawyers review it to make sure we did nothing wrong. There's no violation in statute. We've got Heather here with our law firm that works for the school board is here. She'll show you in statute where we haven't violated anything. We're not doing anything wrong or illegal or unethical. And you know, the people that keep wanting to throw something against the wall and get it to stick, it's just not, it's not happening. And if this was the first time we'd ever done something like this, then I'd say, well, maybe we didn't do it right. But we've been doing it. We did it with the half-cent sales tax before, 2 other times. It's the same thing we're doing now, and I've been through 6 elections. I know what is allowed when you're campaigning financially and when you're not. We're not in an advertising campaign. We're not buying television ads. We're not buying newspaper ads. We're not doing those kind of things. We're just sharing information. When I go to the Rotary meetings or the Kiwanis meetings, or I'm going to the Republican Women's Club meeting next week, I'm going to take these brochures because the public is asking questions and wants to know, and I'm going to share the information and ask their questions. That's what I did.
So how are you not violating Chapter 3 when it says the following forms of political activity are prohibited, and it says distribution of campaign material, including cards and brochures?
Read the rest of it.
Defined by law as political advertising to students or employees.
And it's not. Political advertising is telling you how to vote. This does not tell you how to vote. So you answered your own question. If I said vote for the half-cent sales tax, that would be political advertising. There is no political advertising in this.
Well, that's good. Would you agree that it's up to the Ethics Commission in the Florida State election to determine if that's political advertising?
If you want to send it to them, but I know it's not. I mean, I know enough about the law, and we've had our attorneys look at it. This is not a violation of Florida ethics in any way. Now, if I was going out there and campaigning and asking for people to give me money to do advertising, and I didn't register as a PAC, that would be against the law. We're not doing that. We're not doing any of those kind of political advertising. And so people can twist it all they want, but it's simply not so. Just because you want something to be so doesn't make it so. These are the facts. And again, people are making things up. And I can't stop people from making up. Make up all you want, put all you want on Facebook, and that's fine. People are going to do that. I don't have the energy to fight people that don't want to look at the truth or don't want to hear the truth. What I have the energy to do is stand up for this school district, stand up for the community, stand up for the students, stand up for the teachers and our support people, and tell you this referendum would provide $10 million in pay raises to our employees. Now somebody said, well, you shouldn't even be talking about that. The very first line says salaries. So how is that political campaigning? It's what it says. The referendum is about salaries. I mean, if I didn't talk about it, I couldn't talk about the referendum at all.
Has Mark Anderson weighed in on the pamphlet itself?
Mark and I have talked, and he knows there's nothing wrong with the pamphlets. There's nothing wrong with the pamphlets. There's no advertising in here. There's no, if it said, and again, and I know you're asking because you're going to put this together, but if I said, please vote for, please check yes, please consider voting for, please whatever, then it would be different. But people are going...
Informational packet?
We're allowed to give out information. That's what we're responsible to make sure we educate people. Yes, ma'am.
I have another line highlighted. I just want to read out to you. You can respond to it as you please. It says, you're also prohibited from attempting to either directly or indirectly coerce political activity or support from other employees. Someone might interpret this as being indirect. What do you say to that?
Well, okay, here's the question. If I stand up in front of employees and say this is going to be for pay raises for them, is that direct or indirect? because the very first line says for salaries. So is it the truth, or am I campaigning, or what am I doing? I mean, it's the truth. You know, people are getting caught up in the wording of it, and I understand that. And I understand some people don't understand campaigning and laws and all this. I'm simply talking about the referendum. My job is to focus on the district and helping the district be the best they can. This referendum is one of those things to do that. So of course I'm going to talk about the salaries. Salaries is in the wording of it. It is $10 million of this is going to be about the salaries. So why would I not talk about the salaries? I mean, it would be ludicrous not to be able to talk about it if that's what the referendum is about. That's the conversation that I've had with many people that are experts in this field. Yes.
I saw something on Facebook that says...
Oh, Lord, Facebook's got to be true.
I got to get your opinion on it. It may be legal, but is it right? What's your response to that?
Tell me why it's wrong. I mean, I don't see anything. If I am sharing facts, tell me what's wrong with that. I mean, and the problem is this. If you don't support it, don't vote for it. And I understand that. And this is an uphill battle to get it to pass anyway, and I understand that. But if nobody's making you vote for it, but if you're going to campaign against it, at least have the guts to campaign on the truth and not make things up. That's what my whole argument is with this, is that there's so much misinformation out there. And by the way, I get up in the morning and don't get on Facebook. I go to bed at night and don't get on Facebook. I do not consider it the sacred ground of information and accuracy. I mean, if I want to know the news, I'm going to listen to you guys, right? Or read the newspaper. Or maybe go to a website that I trust. I am not going to see what everybody thinks on Facebook.
So would you say teachers, I guess, or a big issue or a problem at hand that you're trying to address is not enough money for the teachers, and that's why the tax referendum?
Not just teachers, all employees. I mean, that's what we've been talking about forever. And see, here's one of the misunderstandings. Somebody looked and saw the balance of our bank account. Wow, look how much money they got. $80 million of our capital money is insurance money for hurricane repairs and all we spent after the hurricane that cannot be used for salaries. $35 million is from a federal grant to deal with our mental health needs and challenges after the hurricane. That money can't be used over here in operations to give pay raises. We're not allowed to by law. Even after a Category 5 hurricane, no matter what, I can't take money out of those capital funds and put in operations. It's against the law. That's what most people don't understand. That's why I'm having these sessions and explaining to our employees. I would love to be able to take some of those funds and give to employees for salary raises. I mean, our starting bus driver salary is $12.37 an hour. We have cooks in this town at fast food restaurants that are making $18 or more right now. Our salaries for our support employees are not up to where they should be, and they haven't been for a while. Our funding is just not risen. Ever since the recession, it has not gone back up to where it was. And I'm standing in front of people and saying we've got to do better by our employees. That's what I'm doing. There's no hidden agenda here. I want to recommend to the board that $10 million of what we generate from this one mill go towards salaries for all employees. One more question, each of you, because we'll keep beating the same horse.
Okay, so then why in Chapter 3 of your personnel handbook, political activities defined by you all, efforts of individuals done for the purpose of supporting or opposing, includes both of them, an issue? You just explained
Did you come to any of the meetings? One of y'all were at one of the meetings. I haven't said vote for or against it in any of the meetings. I'm not supporting it or opposing it. I'm sharing the facts, and I've told them. But in fact, we had one bus driver that, and the conversation was good. He said, look, I've got property, and I've calculated that I'm going to pay more in property than I would in a pay raise. And I said, then you're the perfect example why you won't vote for it. And I understand that. I have not told anybody to vote for it. I've not told anybody to vote against it. That would be wrong. And that's what we have not done. Again, these are informational, and you guys didn't cover that, but you covered the meeting. I mean, that's what I've been saying all along. That's my point. Nowhere have I said to vote for it or against it. All I'm saying is get the facts and then vote. That's it. All right? Anybody else?
So Michael Petty is here with the union. If you had any questions, and Heather Hudson, who's
And let me tell you what, Mike's been at least 4 meetings I've done this at. And Mike might not want to go on camera or whatever, but have I told anybody to vote for or against it?
No.
I mean, and that's what's being trolled on Facebook. And I really feel sorry for people that live their lives on Facebook. And I hope this is live because it's pitiful. It really is pitiful. But, you know, people are going to make up what they want to make up. Believe me, I'll sleep well tonight. All right? Thank y'all. Mike?